Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade with our monthly update of Flesh and Blood sales data scraped off of TCG Player, this time incorporating data for January of 2023. So of course, first we take a look at Welcome to Wraith Unlimited, Arcane Rising Unlimited, and Crucible of War Unlimited. And of course, I don't cover the first edition boxes of those because they are too expensive and they don't sell often enough to matter. So the first thing to point out is Welcome to Wraith in just the last 3 months. I'm showing 3 months of data on these plots right now. So November, December, and January, and it sold 950 boxes. So 950 boxes disappearing in 3 months, and the price went from about $60 here near the last day of the year up to $85 on the 7-day moving average. So it went up 40% in price 1 month as it continued to sell. And if we go to the month over month table for this, and let that load up, what this is going to show us is the December numbers for sales, the January numbers for sales, and then the month over month percentage difference. Then it does the same thing for price. This is the average sales price of all sales in December, all sales in January, and that monthly change. And then it multiplies them together to get the total revenue December, total revenue January, and month over month change. And so the interesting thing in here is Welcome to Wraith increased again. And you remember last month when we looked at this, the December numbers were an increase over the November numbers, and November had the aid of Black Friday in it to pump those numbers up. So the interesting thing is a 50% drop in Crucible of War from December to January. So a big drop in the sales there. But Welcome to Wraith Unlimited really is the big news item because it's up another 11% in sales month over month, and the price increased 21% just in January. So, and that's why the last day of December price can be 60 and it can increase 40% during the month, is because this is a 7-day moving average price, and this is the average price over the whole month. So that's why those are different percentages. So if you were to go onto TCG Player right now and you were to look at Welcome to Wraith and you looked at individual boxes and cases of the unlimited product, what you would find is in total there are 141 boxes listed for sale right now. And just in January, 336 boxes sold. So something has to give. Either a lot more boxes need to come onto the market, or the price needs to go up more, or the demand needs to go down, or probably some amount of all. Probably some boxes will be enticed onto the market by the prices going up, and the prices going up will suppress some demand. So we'll see some of all of those. I kind of would not expect to see another 300 boxes sold during February when we come back in a month and we look at the February numbers, but maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe there are a lot of boxes sitting back there waiting to be sold. Okay, so let's move on. I'll change up what I'm showing here. We will go to the kind of second generation boxes: Monarch First Edition, Tales of Aria First Edition, and Everfest First Edition. And so again, 3 months on the horizontal axis, and we see Monarch First Edition, always the subject of a lot of debate, sold a little over 300. So 324 boxes in the last 3 months, so 108 per month. And if we go to the table for December to January, month over month, we see a slight decline, 10% in total boxes sold. Everfest dropped 68% from December to January. And I would really wonder about that. Is that because that's still kind of a new enough set that when the newest, most recent set, Dynasty, came out in November, that it was able to suppress the demand for Everfest? I don't know. I don't have a good theory about that, and I don't entirely believe in the one I just stated. So take it with a grain of salt. I'd be interested to hear what you think about that. So, but we can see sales were slightly negative on these two and very negative on this. And of course, price differences on Monarch First Edition and Tales First Edition, pretty much flat. And oddly, a 17% price increase, but the volume of boxes sold fell 68%. Try to make sense of that, if you will. I'll go ahead and just add Monarch Unlimited and Tales Unlimited to the chart just so we can look at those real quick. So here's Monarch Unlimited. no change in number of boxes sold, and Tales Unlimited went down 25% with not a lot of change in prices. So real quick, we will look at History Pack Volume 1, and we can see just how stable these prices have been, once you got past the ridiculousness of the release and Timmy's who will pay to be first, then you can see just how stable it's been. And the month-over-month table will tell us, well, it went from 50 boxes to 70 boxes, a 40% increase, but, it's only 20 more boxes. So now we'll take a look at the most recent 3 regular releases. So excluding History Pack, we'll have Everfest First Edition, Uprising, and Dynasty. You can see the yellow line of Dynasty reflects the release within the last 3 months. That's why it goes so much higher, because these 2 sets had already been released way before, back in June and February, respectively. And we'll pull up the month-over-month chart. So again, that Everfest First Edition, like we looked at a minute ago, was down 68%, Uprising down 19%, and Dynasty down 41%. That Dynasty number is really the one that's kind of disturbing, because it's the most recent set. You kind of expect it to start dropping off, but its release date was November 11th. Should we start expecting it to drop off that hard from December to January? Now, what I've done here is I have lined up the release date of all 3 of these, and this is a horizontal axis that's just number of days since each product's respective release. And what you can see is the blue line of Everfest, back when we still had a lot of fair weather investors in the market back in February when this released, February of 22. They drove the number of boxes sold way through the roof. And then you see the next set, after they'd been scared off by the Monarch First Edition print run numbers being released. Then in June of 22, we had the Uprising release, and it was lower. And then the Cruel Summer shook a lot more people out of the market. And now I have what I feel like is closer to the true demand from players. Because at this point, people are so negative about Flesh and Blood. It's maybe starting to catch a tiny bid in the sentiment department just because of WotC driving players to go try out Flesh and Blood now. But what will be interesting is to come back in, probably 3 months from now, once Outsiders has been in full release for a month, and see how Outsiders compares to Dynasty. I expect those will be kind of close to each other, and if Outsiders is in fact higher in its post-release time period, that'll be a very good sign for growth in the player base of Flesh and Blood. But I think there's a reasonable argument that even Uprising's line here, and definitely Everfest's line here, were mostly driven by investors who progressively got scared out of the market as time went on. And one last thing that I noticed when I was looking at these data that I want to point out here, I've put up History Pack Volume 1, Uprising, and Dynasty, and I switched this back over to dates. And so this runs from the release of History Pack back in May of 22, and it covers through the release of Uprising, which was June 24th of 22, and then the release of Dynasty on November 11th of 22. And one thing I really want to point out here is all 3 of these sets, their releases, fell in the time period after the announcement of Fab 2.0 by LSS, and you can see how steady the prices have been. These tick marks on the vertical axis are only $20, and after you get past the craziness of people paying high prices to get the product really early or to order it early on pre-sale, then all of these products' prices have been nearly rock steady. It's a testament to the management of LSS, their ability to control print runs, control distribution, and to get buy-in from card stores not to dump the product, card stores being hesitant enough but still willing to carry the product and help the game grow. And it just shows good, clear-minded management. It doesn't look anything like WotC products where they swing all over the place, where they have almost always consistent drops after release the last 6 months. It's a night and day difference, and I just wanted to point that out just to praise LSS for their ability to navigate the market in the last year and to do it competently. So that's it, guys. I do this every month. Subscribe to the channel to always see these. I do all kinds of other TCG investing content if this is your first time here. Let me know what you think, your ideas, your theories on these data, other things you'd like to see. Otherwise, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade. Thanks a lot.